Welcome back everybody. Today I am not going to do a review of sorts. I'm going to do a comparison on one of my very favorite all-time fragrances. That is this one here. This is Timbuktu from L'artisan Parfumeur. What this video is about basically is that a couple of years ago L'Artisan kind of repackaged all their scents, and where each of their fragrances were in these types of bottles with a different color label to identify them, they've changed them into the same shape kind of bottle but uniform, kind of what looks like this basically, and all the fragrances look the same on the outside apart from obviously their name on the label. But as tends to happen in the perfume industry and in the fragrance community, whenever something like this happens with a brand, there is always inevitably talk of reformulation, and that's in a lot of cases very, very justified. So this particularly started to bother me because I started to see some things on social media about how should stock up on this type of Timbuktu, get my, I'd even considered getting myself a backup bottle of this, even though this is a 50ml bottle and whatever, I've got a little bit over half left and that would still last me a while. But I wanted to check for myself, so I ended up going into my local department store where they stock the new L'Artisan Parfumeur, and I asked for a sample of Timbuktu. I saw the sales assistant make the sample up for me from the new bottle, so I can only trust that that bottle was the real deal, but I'm sure it was. And what I did over the last 24 hours is test both of these side by side, first on card, then on my skin. But what I did was I actually got my daughter to spray these on card, but not tell me which was which, and then obviously she recorded which one was the new one, which one was the old one. So I just wanted to eliminate any kind of unconscious bias I may have had while I was sniffing it, because I know that for me, that can actually have some kind of effect on what I'm smelling. So what were my discoveries when I was sniffing them? Firstly, about the smell. Now, to my nose, there is the minutest differences only in the smell, and they're not necessarily a bad thing. What I did notice in the newer formulation on my skin was that some of the I found the newer one a little bit brighter and the top notes kind of hung around a little bit longer. Now that might actually just be a result of a newer batch of Timbuktu as compared to an older batch that's been more exposed to air and been macerating for longer. There was certainly no difference in smell. I immediately recognized each of them as Timbuktu. When the notes I made with the older formulation were that it seemed to burn the top notes a lot quicker on card and skin. A bit of in the newer formulation, I got much more of there was more brightness, there was more mango, there was more, the vetiver was a little bit saltier, the papyrus was smokier, so it kind of was just a little bit brighter overall, and it was a good thing. So in terms of the way it smelled, I was very, very pleased with the new version. And I'm not even going to suggest that there has been any reformulation. Now, A lot of what's being talked about and written as well, that I have read, has to do with performance, i.e. has the new version been watered down? Well, based on what happened on my skin and on blotters, on test strips, I have, put it this way, I have no hesitation when this runs out to buy a new packaging Timbuktu. No hesitation whatsoever. On my skin, each of them, a couple of sprays on my arms, lasted at least 6 hours. And even this morning when I woke up, before I showered, I could still make out faint traces of the new version on my skin. Now, like the other one, I can't account for what got rubbed off during the night, in bed, but the point is that it's certainly, the new version lasts just as long as this version. So, as far as I'm concerned, whether it's been formulated or not, it kind of doesn't matter, because A, it smells the same, if not probably a little bit brighter, but that could just be an aging process, I don't know. But I'm completely happy with the way it smells, and I'm completely satisfied with the performance of the new bottle. So, my verdict is I wouldn't hesitate to buy a new bottle of Timbuktu once this one runs out. And even if it was reformulated and watered down and a different scent, a worse scent, a less superior, an inferior scent to the original, I wouldn't go out and buy backup bottles of this. What I would do is never buy L'Artisan Parfumeur again. That's kind of my attitude to bad reformulations. If someone is going to take away or ruin something that you love, and obviously I've got the benefit of if you've got the benefit of being able to sample it first, that's great. But if someone's going to ruin this, rather than look for more bottles of the same thing, I will walk away from that product. It's not like there is a shortage of perfumes out in the world, and there's certainly no shortage of good smelling perfumes or perfumes that perform however you want them to. So if a brand wants to do that to me, I will walk away from that brand. It's as simple as that. But when it comes to Timbuktu, I'm more than happy with this and this. So if you trust me, I don't think you have anything to worry about if you're a fan of this particular perfume. So I hope that was useful information. But as with everything, if you can, try for yourself and see what you think. I'll see you later. Bye.